everyone, it is Tiffany Ming from Thingamavlogs, and I'm here to give you guys a non-spoiler review of Cars 3. Now, anybody that is my friend knows that I am a sucker for Cars. It's actually one of my favorite Pixar movies. Super controversial, I know, but I'm a big Cars fan, and I am happy to say that Cars 3 was a pleasant surprise. I think Cars 2, they kind of took the franchise in a completely different direction, but Cars 3 comes back and we get right back into the roots that made me fall in love with what Cars was to begin with. We're back to racing, we're back in the South, we get introduced to some really amazing new characters. A little quick synopsis that you also can see from the trailers is that Lightning McQueen has kind of lost his motivation and lost his way a little bit because all of these new race cars are coming in with new technology. They're a lot faster, and basically McQueen is kind of a little bit old in the game. So this movie is really about McQueen figuring out like what he really wants, what's most important to him, and really how he can continue racing and continue his career in whatever path is best for him. And with that, we get introduced to Cruz Ramirez, who is the yellow car that you see in all of the promos. She is awesome. I absolutely love her character. I think she is pivotal to what this movie is about and the overall message of what this movie is about. She is super powerful female role model, really, and I really love that they don't kind of make a reference that she's a girl. It's just she is on an even playing field, and they have such a high respect for her that it feels really empowering. And if you have daughters, please take them to this movie. Also, if you have like sons too, I think this is a really amazing message for kids that we all can be on an even playing field and that we should be. And it does a really great kind of natural way of portraying this message of equality and dreams and ambition and support. And her relationship with Lightning McQueen is really great and feels really special, and it has so much heart. And I think that's kind of what we lost sight of in Cars 2, and I'm so thankful that we're back on track with that in Cars 3. One of the really interesting things about this film that I personally enjoyed is that we get so much backstory on Doc Hudson. As you know, in the beginning of Cars 2, we know that Doc Hudson has died, and Cars 3 is a really beautiful tribute to Paul Newman, who passed away after Cars completed. He was the voice of Doc Hudson, and they pay a really like heartfelt, really emotional homage to him throughout the entire course of the film. It makes it feel a little more grounded in reality because obviously we no longer have Paul Newman, so we no longer have Doc Hudson. But what's amazing is in these flashbacks that you see of Doc, they went to original recordings that weren't used for Cars that John Lasseter had, obviously, like in the archives, and they worked with Paul Newman's estate to be able to pull those clips. So we still do get original lines from Paul Newman in this film, which I think is really cool. Of course, with any Pixar film, the animation is beyond anything that we could ever expect. It's beautiful. I think that goes without saying. We saw from Good Dinosaur that Pixar is amazing when it comes to natural environments. What's great about this film is just how they go to Radiator Springs and how they go in all of the countries in Cars 2, is that they take it to the South. And the South, which is where I'm from, which is probably why Cars resonates with me so much, it is very woodsy, there's a lot of fog, there's a lot of water, and the treatment of nature with man-made elements, because in Good Dinosaur we know that there's nature, but they're doing that with also the same level of realism with man-made, so they're putting in cars and roads and signs in with this nature environment that's just absolutely stunning. Even though I really love this movie and it has such a good message, I did find the plot to be a little predictable. There wasn't a lot of surprises, really. There were some funny moments, but it's definitely not as comedic as the first Cars, so I would have loved to have seen a little bit more comedy in those. But because the message is so strong and so kind of elevated and mature, that if I have to trade in comedy to get a better message across, then I'm totally cool with that. And in case you're wondering, we do get all of these new really great characters introduced to the franchise, but we also see all of our old friends from Radiator Springs. So you still see Sally, you still see Red the Fire Truck, Luigi, Guido, Ramon, Flo, they're all here. They had a really great element to McQueen's story because obviously McQueen is going through his own kind of mental turmoil with what he's going to do with his career, so they really are there for his support and his backbone to help him kind of get through his own thing he's working out. I also want to throw out that there is an after credits scene, so stick around to make sure you catch that, because it pulls out like a really obscure oddball reference for you super hardcore Disney fans. So I'm interested to see if when you watch it, you know what they're pulling from. All of that being said, I really enjoyed this film. I think anybody that loves the first Cars film is also going to love this film. If anything, I think it really resonates. It almost feels like it was catered more towards a mature audience. Like, I really loved it. I think my dad will really love it. There's a lot of sort of mentor elements or parental elements, and I think it's portrayed well enough where kids will get the really important message, but it still holds a lot of weight for an older audience to really have a great takeaway from it. Cars 3 is in theaters June 16th, so be sure to check it out, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!